Alright, so yesterday on our VFR project here, we were working on the controls up here. We got one of them done. We were working on the other one. And I'm going to put a pause on that because I still want to think about that some more. I want to look at some wiring diagrams. And I'm also thinking about a Moto Gadget controller for this bike, which would help me eliminate some of these relays and stuff on here. And a bunch of other parts, sort of simplify the wiring on the bike a little bit, save some space, and that could also make my need to rewire these controllers a little unnecessary. So I'm going to think about that, plan that out a little bit more. Today, this swing arm, this guy here, I've got a new one. I'm going to swap this one out. Yeah, that looks nice, man. That looks nice. Like this part up here, I needed to replace this little rubber piece, and this comes with a rubber piece, and it's in good shape. You can get a better look on this one. This is the chain adjuster right here. This is what I was talking about, where it's got these teeth on it. Ours is missing those teeth. And it's also got this sort of uncentered axle here, where when you spin this around, it moves this thing sort of back and forth. And that's how you adjust the chain. This looks fantastic compared to ours. Here's ours again, just as a reminder. But yeah, you can see over here where the teeth are just, they're chewed up, missing on mine. So this did not come with these, the external part here. You can see there's some splines on there. That is for all this stuff here, the chain and the sprocket. So I need to get that stuff off. There's also, this is inside here, there's those little rubber sort of isolators are on the inside of here. So we need to pop that stuff off, swap it onto our new one. All right, so one of the first duties then is taking this nut off the end here. And this, turns out, that's a 46 millimeter nut on the end. I do not have a socket that large. If I had a socket, I could put the impact on there and be done with it. It would zip it off no matter what. But I gotta use a wrench, or I gotta go get a socket, and it's like 3 in the morning, so no stores are open right now. I can prep some things though. I can get this swing arm off of here and everything and swap the new one on, and we'll just have to still do that hub thing later. So let me go ahead and do that. We'll get the brakes off of here, the rear brake off, even though we just put this thing on the other day, like earlier this week. I'm also going to go ahead and pull this little chain guard off. We'll also undo our shock here. Alright, nut is out. Alright, I'm going to take the little axle nut off of here. That's off. This guy's off. I should be able to push this through. That side, hold the swing arm up. Alright, that guy is out. I need to disconnect the bottom of the swing arm too. Yeah, there is like a beauty in the simplicity of these wrenches. I realize this takes a lot longer than some other wrenches you could be using, but there's kind of a little bit of a zen. All right, now I want to swap over a few things from the old one to the new one, such as the shock and everything on the bottom here. I'm actually swapping over some of these bearing, what are these called? Bearing shafts or whatever, because Like, look at this one, it's all corroded on the inside here on the one end. So swap it over because I think the one from the old bike is actually in better shape. Yeah, the one off our old bike is this guy right here. And this one is not corroded. I suspect this bike might have seen some salt and had corrosion in areas where you just don't get it just doesn't get washed, you know, the way it does on other parts of the bike. So yeah, again, I'm gonna throw some grease in here and hope that helps my cause. Roller bearing inside here. Lovely little guy. What about the other guy? The other side, the other bearing. Oh, this one looks nice. Yeah, this one's set up a little bit differently, but it looks nice. Yeah, this one's a completely different setup. It's got a different type of bearing on the inside here. So I'm gonna try and throw some grease in there. Yeah. All right, hopefully that is an improvement. All right, I want to swap the shock over. All right, let's get this back on the bike. I want to clean up the threads a little bit on this swing arm where this guy mounts on because there is some dirt in there. So I'm just going to run a tap down through there real quick. Help knock that dirt out. Alright, now we should be able to get this guy on here. Alright, special bonus on this swing arm, it comes with this little retainer for the brake line, to keep our brake line in there. Oh, we are fancy now. I've got bolts to put back in, get this shock mounted up again. Alright, shock is on, the rear brake is on, the axle's on there, our little chain guard guy here is on. Swing arm's basically on there, nothing's tightened down. Well, some of the stuff is tightened down, but before I put the wheel back on, I got some stuff to follow up on from the other day. I've got this little cotter pin that goes down on the end of the master cylinder. That goes over here on the back side. Fantastic. All right, and then we've got a couple mismatched bolts here from the other day. I got matching bolts. Yeah, I've got the stock ones where had this Allen head on them, so I'm replacing them with the same. I'm going to swap out the other one too, so that they match. All right, let's do it. Let's get this wheel on here. I still need wheel lugs. Need to order them still.
All right, I feel better. We'll see you next week.